I turned in the application too. So there's 2 new members. I understand there's a couple of new members on this site too. But no, I've always been mildly interested in astronomy. I had a kid's telescope for decades. The mirror was shot, so last fall we bought my son-in-law and I went in on a Celeston Nexstar SLP 127, so we can have a much better view now. So and we're looking forward to doing some of the public outreach that your society does. So very happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mother Lord.
I don't think I've seen you before.
I came once before, but it was like 3 months ago.
I am terrible with faces.
No, it's okay. I'm Kate Ruggles, and I've always been interested in astronomy and joined because I want to learn more.
You better say because
You knew?
Oh yeah, that was fun.
I see some new faces.
Chester telegram from my dad.
Okay.
We just found out about it and very interested in it.
Okay. Yeah, we have a few that come over from Australia. Welcome.
Brave the Basin and Bridge.
Oh yeah.
John Bruce up from Lafayette. I got a cheap telescope and I saw the rings on Saturn. I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Yes. Lucas, this is Catherine. We've been to a few meetings. We're still kind of new.
Okay. Like I say, I look in the mirror and I can't figure out her
That's
name,
interesting.
So forgive me if you've been here and I don't recognize you, but it's all I can do to recognize myself anymore. Okay, so first of all, a big announcement. Next month's meeting will not be the second Monday. It'll be the third Monday because there's a little thing going on the second Monday that a lot of us are interested in, going out of state for the eclipse. And so rather than try and have a meeting then, we'll just make it 15th, I think, of April. Yeah, tax day. That's right.
Oh, how wonderful.
Except in movies now. Okay, so everybody clear on that? Next thing is John has a new toy. He wants to do a show and tell real quick here.
Cool.
And Trey, is that yours?
Trey has one
Okay,
too.
well, bring it up here.
This is what's called Hestia. It's sort of like the Stellina, where you take a period of time of tracking an object and take a period of time and take pictures off of it. The big thing about it is you clamp your cell phone, and through an app in the cell phone, got to clamp it in, position it right up there. Through the app in the cell phone, that's how it does it. The nose, it guides, everything else like that, and it takes a picture like that, and it over a period of time, you know, that the longer it's exposed, the clearer picture you have. So a period of time, you get your picture here on the camera, on your phone.
So this part here does not move? I've never seen one of these before. This doesn't move?
I don't
They just
know.
came out with it, so.
They just came out with it. I'm not all that familiar.
So
with
how would it
there
track?
must be internal optics that
Yeah,
is-
so it's the optics inside, and when you combine all of the cell phone with the app with that, it turns it. That's what makes it a
Our
smart
lens on it
scope.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
So it must be like a really
and that's
super wide
the
angle
one that you
lens
put your camera of your cell phone on, that one right there.
with it.
Oh, well, you had to order it.
Oh,
Come with it. And they don't always get it. It's a quarter 20 that you put on a regular
Right.
tripod if you want it.
Okay.
But I went ahead and got this on.
So
It's
have either
such
of you
an
tried it
interesting
out
little
yet?
thing.
I tried it out, but it was too cloudy the other day. I tried getting a picture of the sun, but it didn't happen.
You know, mine, this is the first time I took it out of the box tonight because I haven't had too much time on it lately. But it's such an interesting little project. I got it from Kickstarter or one of those groups there, so there. It's such an interesting thing to use your cell phone, so I went ahead and ordered one to get it and see what it's going to do.
So do you put your cell phone on it and then you use the cell phone to aim it at what you're interested in?
I think so because it does through Bluetooth, isn't it? Wi-Fi. Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Between the two, they talk to each other.
So when you look at the cell phone, you're not looking through the eyepiece, or you're
No,
looking
cell
at
phone-
a
Looking
map?
through your camera, using the app to look through the camera into the eyepiece.
Okay.
So your camera's lens right here on
Yeah.
the little rubber one on that, and that's displays out on your phone.
Do you have to aim it or it tracks
You
itself?
have to, they said, when I tried to aim it, it said, pointing assistance coming soon. So this is a beta, app.
Oh, okay.
So,
Interesting.
so it's eventually gonna be doing that there, so it's supposedly help you do all that there, all right?
Yeah, no, it does, it
You pretty much
does.
aim at what you want right now, close to it like that, and then fire it up like that.
No, it does have a list of what's up in the sky, and it does have, like, it helps you position. You can see through the camera.
It's like that night sky app.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So anyway,
So price wise,
300.
300, yeah. I figure for that price here,
good eyepiece.
it's fairly good. I mean, it's an interesting thing. They sound like it was gonna be good, be an interesting one there, because I use my regular telescopes to set this up on something else to go with like that. So for the price, it sounded pretty good. So
I'm in a Facebook group for Hestia owners, and they've been posting pictures up there, and they look pretty good. I mean, obviously not as good as you would get with the, like, say, a more expensive smart stuff, but they're still better than
Playing cell phone.
with the cell phone, yeah.
Cool.
That sounds interesting. Next month, maybe you can show us some of the results.
Well, if I got some.
Yeah.
The thing is, we're moving, and I don't
Yeah.
have much time to do anything right now.
Does it show it inverted or is it straight? Or
It's
is it
inverted, so, like, the other day I was just looking through the camera without the thing, and everything's upside down, yeah.
Because there's only one lens on, so it's going to invert it on you.
Right.
Anyway, I just wanted to bring it to let people know that, hey, there's something new else out there now that not like the Stellina and the others that are quite a bit more expensive.
Who makes that?
It's the same people. They own this, who does the Stellina and the others. They do a couple of them.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. Just wanted y'all to see it.
All right. Cool.
So, yeah.
Maybe someday we'll get a clear
Bring back some
sky.
pictures next month after you've used it. So we can see how-
Yeah.
If I've used it, I will.
Well, and they,
Why not? They have
these,
time.
when they were doing the Kickstarter, they said that the US had priority because of the eclipse.
Yeah.
So everybody else in the world is getting theirs later.
Okay, well, yeah, you can try it out on the eclipse.
You try it.
Cool.
Anyway, wanted y'all to see this, and glad you brought yours, because Trey told me we were watching that swamp that he said he had one, so we talked a little bit about it. So this is the first time I've taken it out of the box and stuff. Well, we'll see what happens with it, right?
Well, it'll be a clear night tonight, John. You can set it up and try it out.
Is Chris here tonight? Chris, you got anything?
Yeah, you're gonna have to grab him from his office.
I don't think he's in there.
You may have walked outside.
Yeah, oh, well.
No, Chris, did you have anything to add
Up there
to the
it is.
meeting? Any news on the observatory upcoming things? Anything you want to say?
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Guess not.
I guess not. Okay, without further ado, Ben is going to give us a highlight of the eclipse that's coming up next month and do a little show about it to explain some of the details for some of you that may not have seen an eclipse or experienced one before. So, turn it over again.
All right, yes, this is, I figured it's a good place to give this meeting because number one, Chris will be here and he is a fountain of information about this stuff, so I'll be relying on some people in the club to fill in any gaps or add some extra fun tidbits, if you will. But just a little overview. I kind of, when I think Scott had mentioned, he was like, oh, maybe we should do something for the eclipse, trying to come up with a program for this month. And I was like, oh, we just did that. And then I thought about it and I was like, wait, that was 7 years ago. So time really does fly. If you were one of the fortunate ones to see totality in 2017, then you're probably really excited for this one because it's like twice as long as that one in most places.
Plus, it's our last shot for a lot of us.
Yeah, so it's going to be the last one.
There's one in North Africa in a couple of years.
Yeah.
In the U.S.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't spoil it. But yeah, so that eclipse was awesome, and it turned me into a guy that will travel, any place to try and go see one when I can afford it. Even my wife, which some of you know, that is very supportive of my hobby here, but not as into it like I am. She was along for the ride too, just to be along for the ride, and when she saw it, it was like, oh my god, so she can't wait to go see the next one. I'd rather it were in August than in April. Just weather prospects are not great, so we're hoping for the best, but planning for the worst, I think.
And don't, saying old, it's.
So, okay, first of all.
That one cloud will be in the wrong place.
I know that cloud. He hates me.
When you stay here then.
Believe me, the feeling's mutual.
All right, so yes, it's another eclipse talk. I've already gone through that. Sorry, that's my note on here. Sorry. But it's the big thing that's coming up, right? Our eclipse. So when is it? Just in case you have been living under a rock or just want to make sure and have a note of these dates and times and whatnot. Monday, April 8th. The path of totality will come through the United States, starting in southern Texas and all the way up through Maine, and it passes on up to some of the maritime provinces of Canada. Up to 4+ minutes. Some people have like 4:20 or
4:22 is the longest at Pages Negris.
So that's like I said, at least twice as long as the 2017 eclipse. Now, if you can't go anywhere, from here in Baton Rouge, you're getting quite a good partial eclipse, 87.7% according to eclipse2024.org with their eclipse simulator, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And yes, as Chris mentioned, the next total solar eclipse in the United States will not be until 2044.
Now, the 2044 eclipse is only total in a very small part of northern Idaho and northern Montana at sunset. So the odds of seeing it are pretty gross.
Yeah.
However, the 2045 eclipse has 6 minutes of totality on the Florida Panhandle, which just irritates the fire out of you. August in Florida Panhandle and a 6-minute eclipse.
You can make it. You can make it.
And I don't think I'll be going anywhere at 90 years old.
You can do it. You can do it. All right, what to know about an eclipse? Just briefly talk about that. This was actually a picture that's up on our Facebook page. It was shared with us by Joni Johnston, who was a friend of Chris DeSells, I believe, over another one of our club members. But she caught this one. It was going to be an annular eclipse somewhere else,
Right.
I'm assuming, but nice partial of the setting sun there. That was pretty cool.
That's the one I got rained out in New Mexico.
Want me to cut the light in?
I think we're good. I can see. So yes, syzygy. This is a new word for me from the book. More than a cool word for Scrabble enthusiasts.
Great word for hangman.
Yeah. So syzygy is a lineup of 3 astronomical bodies. So in our case, imagine there aren't 4 astronomical bodies. There's just 3. The Earth, the Sun, and the Moon, of course. And that lineup is what gives us our various eclipses throughout the years. Now, and I can't remember if I talk about this a little bit afterwards. I may, but one thing about the moon is its orbit around the Earth is tilted at 5 degrees compared to what it is for the Sun and the Earth. If it were the same as the Sun and the Earth, then we would have eclipses a lot more often. And
it'd still be cool.
Yeah, it would still be cool, but as it is, that's part of the reason why total eclipses don't happen all the time. But total eclipse does happen about every 18 months, and annular eclipses happen with the same regularity somewhere on the planet. Partial eclipses obviously happen with a lot more regularity than that. And I would say, yes, another word that I learned, the Saros, is 18 years, 11 and 1/3 days is a Saros. So when we have a total eclipse that happens somewhere on the planet, one Saros later, or 18 years, 11 and 1/3 days, or 10 or 12 and 1/3 days, they said, depending on where the leap year falls and stuff, you will have another solar eclipse on the planet of the same duration as the one that you saw, the Saros, before, only moved 1/3 of the way around the planet.
Right.
So different part of the planet, but that's just because of that syzygy and our tilts and axes and how everything orbits and whatnot. It's kind of a cool thing that 18 years, so we'll see our 4.5 minute eclipse or 4 minute and whatever eclipse, 18 years and 11 and 1/3 days from there will be an eclipse of the same duration, 1/3 of the way away from us. So, and yes, from any given spot on the planet, an eclipse will happen about once every 300 years. Now, another thing that I read about that is that while they do happen like that over any given spot once every 300 years, statistically, they can happen more often. It's not that you only get one every 300 years. What was it, Carbondale?
Right, they get two of them.
Yeah,
Crosses.
they were in the crosshairs. So
Yeah.
that eclipse in 2017 went, from west to east across the whole United States. This one is coming from south to north, and right where X marks the spot is like Carbondale, Illinois, and so they're getting totality for both eclipses.
Right, Florida gets 2045 and 2052 in the Panhandle.
I don't know what they'll do in Carbondale for this one. In 2017, Ozzy Osbourne was playing while Bark at the Moon, while the the old eclipse happened.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. Ozzy, he's not going to be there this year for for the eclipse.
Get Pink Floyd to do
He's
Dark Side.
he's still with us, but he's not performing right now. Now, will I see totality? So, of course, that just depends on where you are compared to the path of totality. Actually, that's a slide that I shall add for the future when I do that. I think
When you do another one, put an eclipse map.
that's what I was thinking. That's what I was just like.
I've got all my eclipse
I'm gonna need an
maps
eclipse
with me.
map. I don't actually have the eclipse map, so, but picture in your mind's eye that path about 100 miles wide from South Texas up to Maine, and that is our path of totality. So you must be within that path. Now, from what I've read, they said that it doesn't make, and maybe I'm sure some people may disagree, but they said that it doesn't make that much of a difference to the length of your totality. How exactly close you are to the center line from the outside.
It does once you get more than half the distance out.
Okay.
I'm going to be 22 miles from the center line and we lose 19 seconds.
You lose 19 seconds. Okay. So, still it's, over, around 4 minutes you might be giving or taking. And when you're seeing it, you might be like, I wish I had 19 more seconds. But you'll be happy if you even see it.
You're going to be amazed how fast that 4 minutes.
And Scott, do you mind if I borrow a couple of your pictures?
No, it's
okay. All right. Pictures, permission of Scott Cadwallader here. Yeah. So Scott was fortunate enough to go out west back in October for annularity. So the first picture as the sun was approaching.
Let's take US 287 South Fort Worth.
That's what we're going to see here from Baton Rouge. Probably even more eclipse than that. I don't think that's all the way.
That was about 82% at that time.
Yeah, it turns out eclipses are very, very long.
Yeah.
Totality is very, very short.
Yes.
But everything leading up to and away from totality takes forever.
It takes a little while.
Most
That
people
middle-
most of the people that really aren't into it basically pack up right after totality, get in the car and leave.
That middle picture's the H alpha picture though.
Yes, yeah, he has
That's
that
cheating.
the scope, so.
Well, I mean, that was annularity. I don't think I'd bring the annularity to or an H alpha to the.
So that was, that's the annularity, of course, that's when I think I'll get into that in a second, so I won't go to that. But, and then totality, that was, you can see past the board there. That was just a screen grab. I actually have a video on Facebook that I had taken. I had my scope set up and I had just put my cell phone on there and just started recording when as the thing started and let it go through the whole thing. When it got to totality, I took the solar cap off and there was the corona, and you could see some of those little instances of the chromosphere there. Pretty cool.
Is that the same thing on the end?
Ben just touched.
Yes, well, now he has.
He has an H alpha scope,
Yeah,
so you're
this is the hybrid
seeing the
The
stuff.
prominences on the side are
Yeah.
much more prominent, due to that H alpha scope, which is just designed for looking at the sun.
At a partial eclipse or an annular, you have to wear your glasses.
Oh, yeah.
You have a solar filter on your scope. When it gets to the point of totality, you can take those glasses and filters off, but you need to be very aware of your time. And
Yeah, but you can see it coming. You got plenty of warning.
Yeah, and I remember last time in 2017, there was a website that we logged on to on the phone, and it would give you a countdown to when totality
Right.
starts
Okay, yeah.
and a countdown to when it ends based on your location.
Yeah.
And so we kind of used that to make sure that it was.
I was lucky because I was in Casper, where Roz was, and at least another one of our club members, Susan, we were there, and they had just had the Astronomical League convention there. So where we were set up on this field, it was all like hardcore amateur astronomers there, and so I just listened to them shouting, "Glasses off! Glasses off!" I didn't have to worry about looking at a phone or any of that.
But you're not going to be surprised by the light. You can see
No.
it coming.
Yeah.
There
Yes,
is
yeah,
you'll see the atmosphere where it's coming from. You'll see the atmosphere getting bright, and you'll have plenty of warning to go back.
So again, just kind of talking about, will I see totality, why we see totality or not. The moon, in totality, you're totally in the shadow of the moon right there. That's the umbra of the moon. And of course, it just depends on how close the moon is to the Earth. If it's a little bit further away, then you're going to have that annularity, where it just doesn't completely block out the disk of the sun. If it's a little bit closer to the Earth in its orbit at that point, then we get that the totality is completely blocking out the disk of the sun. Now, if, as like I said, the moon is tilted at like 5 degrees, so depending on where they are and stuff, just imagine this whole model like moving up and down, and that's going to move that little needle of totality up and down. So if it falls below the North Pole and above the South Pole, you're going to have a total eclipse someplace on it, or an annular eclipse, at least depending on the distance of the moon, somewhere on the surface of the planet. If that little point is going off into space, either north or south, then we won't have a total or annular eclipse, but we would still be in the umbra. And that's why we get a lot more partial eclipses than we do total eclipses, because even when it's not hitting, you're still going to be in that larger cone of the penumbra, which is that partial shadow. Yes. All right. So now, for the lucky ones that are in the path of totality, what to be on the lookout for. Of course, the corona, and as I was taking notes on the corona, I came across, the chromosphere, which is this very thin shell around the sun, but it can only be seen briefly at the start and end of an eclipse. It's not there like through the whole eclipse. It's just at the beginning or just towards the end.
And you need magnification to
Yeah,
really
you
see
need
it.
magnification.
Yeah,
You won't see that just with like
No
naked
chance.
eye. But the really big breathtaking thing to see is the solar corona, which, you know, the corona is like that white halo, as you can see on that picture, all the way around it, and you just see it stretching out in the sky around the blotted out sun, and it's just unbelievable.
Now, the one thing about some of these pictures at the 2017 eclipse through a telescope, the corona was not uniform. There was these beautiful curved lines, and they had a large hedgerow on the bottom. It was just absolutely stunning, and it looked three-dimensional.
And so, a couple of little tidbits about the chromosphere and the corona there and stuff. So the photosphere, which is the surface of the sun that we see every day and whatnot, they said is generally around 5,000 kelvins. Like that's its temperature, which is roughly 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Now the chromosphere, that little thin shell that we see, can be double that.
Right.
So, you know, up to 20,000 degrees. The corona, which to me just seems like, oh, that's this wispy thing out there and stuff, can actually be 50 times the temperature of that. So whereas the photosphere is like 10,000 degrees, and then you go right next to that, the chromosphere at like 20,000 degrees, this little halo corona, actually it's like comes from the Latin term for crown. And it looks like a crown around the moon there. Could be up to 4 million degrees. So quite a jump in temperature. Okay, yes, other things. The Bailey's beads, that's a pretty cool effect.
Does the landscape of the moon cause that?
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's,
The moon's irregular.
So you see them up there in the top, and you can see how it looks like you almost see the topography of that limb of the moon. So that's what it is. It's the topography of the moon, you know, the valleys and mountain and crater rims and stuff. Right at the edge, just as it's sliding, as the moon is sliding in front of the sun, you start to get areas where the sun is still poking through, but blocked out by those taller mountain peaks and stuff in other areas. And they call those Bailey's beads after Frank Bailey. I forget it's like 1823 or something. This guy like first described them or whatnot, you know. So
Discover magazine this month had a magnificent article on the history of eclipses. If you get Discover magazine, I highly recommend you read it.
And then, of course, also everybody wants to try and see the diamond effect, which is basically just the last of the Bailey beads. You know, when they're, you know, at first you'll see them kind of all around the edge there, and then they'll disappear and then keep getting less and less until there's like maybe one or two that kind of join together, and then it makes like a diamond on a ring. You know, and they call that the diamond ring effect. So.
But you don't always get it.
Yeah, you don't always. It just depends on if you got the right mountain placement or something up there.
In Aruba in '98, we did not get a diamond ring.
And I think it can happen at the start and the end. Yeah. So the beginning. So look at both sides of the eclipse. What to do on eclipse day? Yeah, that's my wife is addicted to koala bears, so he was with us in 2017, ready for the show.
Is that ISO certified?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number one, get into the path of totality. Of course, that's not possible for everybody, and I'm sure it being on a Monday, afternoon doesn't make it real conducive to people that have to work for a living Monday through Friday and whatnot. But if you have some vacation time, even like a day or two or something, do your best. See what you can do to try and get into the path of totality, because as has been mentioned, even like when it's 99.9%, you still have to have those eclipse glasses on.
Absolutely.
So you'll see it almost completely, like you'll just see a little thin sliver, but when totality hits, and you can take those glasses off and then see that solar corona and stuff. It's just hands down. I can't overstate how cool it is. You know, like sometimes you get worried about overhyping something, then you see
Oh, no,
it, like,
you can't
oh, that's
overhype
not
it.
as cool as I thought.
You can't.
No, it's that cool. So, monitor the weather. So you know, do your best anyway. You know, at least a few days or so, and just keep an eye on it wherever you were planning on going. Have your eclipse glasses or solar filters or whatnot. You know, if you're taking a telescope, don't forget your solar filter. You know, have those eclipse glasses. And then lastly, I would say, well, and about like the monitoring the weather and stuff, you know, like just, you know, have a, thought I put that up there. No, I put that in my notes here. Yeah, have a backup plan. Be prepared to move someplace and know which, you know, what directions you're going to take and what roads you're going to use and stuff. If it looks like, ooh, they might have clear skies here, you know, then, you know, tomorrow or whatever, make the trek, you know. So
Yeah, try to find a spot where you have roads that travel down the path,
yeah,
or you can get to it.
Yeah.
Avoid major highways. You will not be able to travel the day of the eclipse.
What was it, like 12 or 13 hours last time?
Yeah, up on Interstate 80 it was a
From,
disaster.
Casper to Denver.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a
20-hour
disaster.
drive.
that was going home. We were supposed to travel that way going home. We were done with the eclipse and we were going to head south, and we were crazy. And I was like, man, we're all the way up here already in Casper. It's only, I looked on the Google Maps, it's only 3.5 hours to go to Devil's Tower, you know, like let's go that way. And so we headed north, and hardly anybody was heading north.
Oh, yeah.
So we had no traffic problems. I found out about the traffic jam the next day. I'm like, oh, good thing we went up to Devil's Tower. And yes, I will say, don't spend all of totality. By all means, you know, try and get a picture or whatnot stuff, but don't spend all of totality worrying about your cameras and worrying about this and that and stuff. Just, you know, don't
Remember,
forget
there will always be better pictures.
Exactly.
Every one of your senses is in play.
Yeah, this
I mean,
is a once in a lifetime
it is
deal.
phenomenal.
Yeah, there will be, and like you said, there will be thousands of people that are taking videos and taking pictures and whatnot. You will always be able to go back and find a picture to relive it or whatnot, but you will never get those 4 minutes back, you know, sitting there watching it. So take some pictures, but you know, be prepared, have your cameras ready to go, have all that stuff ready so that you can watch it most of the time.
So one thing I didn't do last time, but I've heard other people recommend, is put your phone on record so that you can listen to everybody else.
Yeah, it is cool.
That's part of my video on YouTube. It was
Yeah,
even though it was live streaming, it was coming through, and Ashley hates it. My wife, she was like, you know.
Oh,
I'm on there
I've
for
tried to watch it a few times. I just skip right through it. Like,
just turn the
slider
sound
down,
off.
you move it right across. and see
The temperature in Alliance dropped 18 degrees.
Yeah.
In just a little over 2 minutes. It was really interesting.
So fun
Oh yeah, colander. I was gonna recommend that. The colanders are a
things that you
blast.
can do or make, you know, of course, these pinhole projection viewers and stuff, you can, there are plans all over the internet for building little pinhole projectors. And
Just bring a colander. It's awesome.
Yeah, a colander is, I don't know if you can see it close.
They're all crescents.
They're all little crescent, little things. Basically anything with like a little hole in it, you can project onto something, you know. I saw this a lot in 2017 out on the field where people were, you know, poking holes through things, making different phrases inside the 2017 eclipse, you know, Great American Eclipse, and then, you know, projecting it onto a white background, or some people have like a whole like white sheet set up on some kind of little frame and would project the sun down onto that. So a lot of fun can be had with that. And of course the whole, you know, if there are trees around or something, you know, you can look down on the ground, just the shadows coming through the leaves. You'll see little crescents all over the place, you know. That'll be especially that'll probably most of the fun here in Baton Rouge. You know,
Right.
if you're not able to leave Baton Rouge, play around with it, you know, and make some fun out of seeing the partial eclipse.
Yeah,
Yes.
just curious, have you heard about the wave?
Shadow band.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know about those. What are
I've tried 3 times to see them. I haven't seen them. I've seen photographs of the shadow bands.
shadow bands? They
They
call
are
them,
they are real. I just have not been able to see them.
It's basically the refraction through the atmosphere.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is real. But it's very, very subtle.
Isn't that right before, right out?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just right before it and right at the beginning. I went down.
Most importantly, yes, have fun. You know, just enjoy marveling at the eclipse with your friends. Think about how far we have come in understanding the movements of our solar system. You know, the eclipses were a mystery to ancient peoples, but we can now predict them to the second anywhere on the planet. You know, that's we've come a long way. You know,
And
in our
NASA's
knowledge
website
about
has
this.
them out to 10,000 years.
Yeah,
You can't plow through it.
10,000 years. I'll be here for that one, you know. Now, yeah, one more time, just for Baton Rouge specific info for those that are going to be here in town, Monday, April 8th. The partial eclipse will begin around 12:28. This is all just going based on that eclipse simulator that you can go to.
And this is daylight saving time. It is correct.
Yeah. So 12:28 maximum eclipse is around 1:49 p.m. That's when you'll get like that 87 point whatever percent, and the eclipse will end around 3:08. So that's after. They call that when the sun, when you first see is that tiniest of little dents taken out of the sun. That's first contact.
Right.
They call it, and then I think what is
Last contact.
Yeah, last contact is when it just leaves. So. And some resources there. That eclipse, I really like that website, eclipse2024.org. Pretty full of information, easy to use. It has a little thing down there that says eclipse simulator. You can click on that and puts a little box in the right. You type in your city, and then you can choose, okay, launch the simulator. It comes up and it shows you like the sun going over in the arc, and there's sliders at the bottom where you can just move the time along. You know, so that's where I'm going to be. Hopefully we'll have some clear sky, and I know, okay, it starts at this time and this, you know, so.
Yeah, they also give altitude and azimuth. This is a good one. The sun's going to be way up, so you don't have to worry about low horizons or anything.
That's another good piece of advice is make sure to write all these things down, because you can't count on having internet access wherever you're going to be, especially when a whole bunch of people flood into a zone which normally doesn't have that many people.
Right.
You'll overload the circuits, and then nobody can connect to like download the latest.
Out of curiosity, how many people here are planning on being in the path of totality? Most of us.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's it for the U.S.
And then, yeah, of course, the internet. You know, like they're mainly that's for like the pinhole camera type things and stuff. You know, if you just type in pinhole solar camera or something like. There's timeanddate.com and astronomy magazine.
Time and Date is a good site. They got a good eclipse simulator too. I use that one.
A whole bunch of things will show up, and then there's all kinds of videos on YouTube of people making different kind, you know, making pinhole viewers out of Pringle cans and just anything you can think
One
of.
thing I remember doing as a kid, and I've seen people talking about it. If you got a group of people or something, you can get a mirror and set it up on a stand and shine it like across the road to your neighbors.
Correct. It'll form the image. Yes, I did that.
And it will make an image on the.
Right, but you have to go a long way.
Yeah. But you know, a couple hundred feet or something like that.
Yeah, but and it gets very large.
Yeah.
We did that for the '84 eclipse, or the one on through the Bonnie Cray Spillway.
And of course, the
I remember that one.
Open,
Oh, yeah.
the HRP opens at 11:30 on the day of the eclipse. It's open and free to the public, so you can come out here and hang out with some other people that want to watch the partial eclipse anyway. If you-
So there's an app, solareclipsetimer.com. Dr. Gordon Telton, he created the app before the 2017. He's added on to it, and you can get the data for this particular eclipse for like $2. It's worth it. But even without it, he's got a comprehensive like checklist and links to do all the stuff you're talking about. It's all in the app.
Awesome.
It's also got like
called
solareclipsetimer.com.
solar eclipse.
So he offers a book. You can't get it now because it's too late, but you can download the PDF. Incredible resource for eclipse information, all the websites, plans to build stuff. But he's also got the voice timer built in, with like audible cues to when to take your glasses off, when to put them on, when to observe daily speeds. So yeah, you plug in, you go wherever your location is, you plug in, it gets the GPS from your phone. So basically calculates when all the time frames are going to be, and you can set up, if you're doing photography, you can set up the points that you actually want to capture. Because if you're doing automation, right, you can catch them all.
Yeah.
If you're not doing any kind of automation, you might catch just 2 or 3 points, right?
Yeah.
So you can put all that into the app, and it'll tell you customized for what you plug in. It's worth the $2. Check it out, even if you don't use it for that.
Yeah.
But that's the one that Brad was talking about, the elegant sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For the, when he gave his eclipse talk at the Alcon, okay.
Yeah, that's the,
Yeah, I'm not sure what the name is.
I think that was. Yeah. That's it.
The eclipse.
We got one other announcement here. I forgot about it the first time around. Our resident certificate collector, Scott Cadwell, has yet another one. He has been awarded the Deep Sky Binocular Program Certificate.
Cool.
For observing 60 deep sky objects using only his binoculars.
Awesome, dude.
I've spent several years on this one. I think I started it at Deep South back in like 21 or 22 because the rest of my equipment broke down. It's like, well, I'm here, I gotta do something. So I just did this.
Smile.
It's so unnatural for me.
I know.
It just came in.
Oh, okay.
You read for the deep sky binocular, what you do, it's the same as with the Messier binocular. All you have to do is locate the object using any pair of simple binoculars. I use 10 by 50s. You can use 7 by 50s or anything. Basically, it works with a very small binocular. Almost anybody can do it. The idea is that you find however many it is. I think it's like 50 Messier and 60 for the deep sky. You locate it, write down your name and location, the time and location, and then a brief description of what you saw. Just whatever you see is fine. It's your observation. This person in particular kind of called me out because they wanted it to also be legible, which, okay, yes. I had to go back and retype them all up and then send them in, which was easy and clear, but, yeah, it's an added step.
We are going to have a raffle.
Real quick, I just wanted to talk about that.
Oh, okay. While you're doing
This
that,
wasn't-
we'll find the raffle.
We've got them here. I've got them over here. The rest, yeah. They're on the other side of the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this, because we do outreach stuff and whatnot, the Night Sky Network, just randomly sent us another kit of
cool.
solar eclipse materials. And they actually have some cool things in here, that I think, we may be able to make some use of and whatnot, but, it just came the other day, so I haven't gone through it all, but it's got a lot of these tactile things for the people that are sight impaired, or whatnot.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like little things, it's like the solar corona, and then they have,
Braille.
yeah.
Descriptions and stuff on it.
It's got a little activity you can do with this where you make a box that they put their hands in so they can't see it, and then you'll have a picture up there that has each one of the things here, and they have to feel them and try and figure out which one it is, you know. And so it's like, okay, seeing the solar corona with your hands, you know. So that's kind of a neat little activity there. This was just you put the balloon over this, it becomes the Earth, and then you've got the moon, and you can each one of these is a moon. To teach about the phases of the moon, so you set one kid up that's the Earth or whatnot, and you have other kids around with the different part of the moons. But got some posters here that we need to, you know, if you would like a poster or something, you know, for a classroom. Nice posters. Some other stuff, cloud stickers, a few more eclipse glasses. Oh, look at this. We had a couple of raffle prizes. We have one more raffle prize. So we have, as part of the raffle prizes, some very nice 24 NASA science calendars here.
Cool.
I got 5 more of those from the Nice Guy Network for free, and we're giving 2 away, and we'll give 3 away to some of our outreach events. But now we've got 3 for raffle prizes.
Cool.
Can I go over the raffle prizes? Raffle prizes, yes, of course, the calendar. These would be the dollar raffle. So calendars, we got this, the Star Book by Robert Burnham.
Burnham.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah, got some cool stuff in here. Nice little book. This Messier card, which I used myself, not this one, but one just like it, to do the Messier Club and find some of these objects. It's a great thing. It's laminated. It's got all your coordinates and magnitudes and stuff on the back, so you can have it out in the dewy night of Louisiana observing, if you're doing so here. And some little blown up spots on the back for when you're tackling the Virgo cluster, which is a whole bunch of galaxies and stuff all together. You're going to want some help on it. That's nice. And then just one little book, Discovery of Neptune. Seems like it might be an interesting book, not too long. So there's that. And then there's this.
What is that?
This is the beginning of us trying to get rid of some of the stuff in the brass closet. We've got way too much stuff in there that has never seen the light of day since it has entered that closet. And so we want to get it into hands of people that may want to use it. We're going to try that anyway, first with the club. This in here is a nice old classic Celestron Z8. Yeah, it's an 8-inch. This is the tripod that goes with it. Yeah, it's got its knobs in there and whatnot. All I can say about it is when it came into the club the year I joined the club. Don was overseas in Afghanistan or something at that point. You were club president at that time.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
Stop there.
It's not been open since then, but really. So we've had grand ideas of making money off of these things, the ones that we're not using here all the time or going to be able to use for outreach. This is a little bit of an older model scope because it doesn't have GPS, and so it's like it's a tracking thing and stuff, but it's a classic. So it may be, worth it to somebody, but right now it's not worth anything to us because it's just taking up space.
Did you want to offer a buyout before we start the raffle?
No. We're just gonna do the raffle, like I said, we've tried and just never done anything about trying to make money off them. So let's just get them to people that want them. So for this is a $5 raffle ticket. It won't be going tonight. We'll hold this over for a couple of meetings. You do not have to be present to win the $5 raffle, because when you get the ticket, we'll write your name on the ticket and phone number.
But you will have to take it if you.
But you will have to take it if you win.
And no giving it right back, Rod.
As the consolation prize, prize number 2 of the $5 raffle will be these nice Motorola walkie-talkies.
If you want to go ahead and establish a date that we, meeting, June or July.
Yeah, let's say we'll let it go for, what's today? This is March. We'll give it at least until May. We'll see. And if it's,
When are you heading out of town, Don?
Huh?
So
When are you leaving for the summer?
Actually, I'm leaving,
Telescope.
great,
For the regular stuff.
Great. That way we can.
27.
So you can.
I leave the first week in May.
That may be a little bit too. I was about to say we can probably raffle it off before you.
No, that's
not.
If I win it, just, hold it for me. But rack it as long as-
No.
I
covered this.
I was in Florida and we had 45.
it's really going to depend on how many, if we sell tickets and then next month we don't sell any tickets, and then nobody's buying tickets, then we're just going to wrap.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand, but you can get.
So how much do we want to get then? Just set up.
There's no
But then
set.
just 7 months, 7 years later.
No
So you don't have to be
reserve. It's been sitting in there for over 12 years.
Okay.
These 2 things here,
Man, but this,
these are
the
these
27
3
days,
things here are free to a good home.
this is the one that, of course, is kind of.
Are those up for the raffle?
No.
No, just take them.
I want one.
If you want it, come get it.
All right.
So,
You have to make it to the parking lot with it in one piece.
I think that's it. Oh.
Yeah.
But they're not there.
I'm glad that I hit
Can't come back. One last thing. Sorry, one last thing. This, I had to get out of my garage. This is Craig foisting things off on us that he could not use anymore. And he wanted this to go to the club.
What is it?
It is a pier mount.
Oh,
A pier mount. This was the mount that he had his big old refractory. He had a home observatory at his
Oh,
place.
okay.
That's a nice one too.
Yeah, it is.
It's plugged in, and so that's what it does. It will raise your whole thing. You would put your wedge and your telescope on that, and it'll go up and down. That has a mount onto a pier.
Man, I got a good idea. Why don't you put the 16 on that?
Yeah, we had a dome for it. So I'm not sure what the club is going to do with that.
I think the red one.
Okay.
Telescope.
But yeah, I'm not sure what we're gonna do with it. Maybe someday we'll have a use for it. As of now, we do not. So if anybody has any ideas or would have a use for it, just let us know.
You need rings on it to mount it to that. Rings.
That looks like what goes to a little 60mm refractor right there.
So yeah, if anybody wants to buy a $5 ticket, come over to
Ben, when are
me.
you gonna raffle that?
And anybody wants a $1 ticket, that raffle happens tonight. Sell the $1 raffle tickets. So.
What about that? When's that gonna happen?
This will we'll set,
I did that one.
we'll plan to raffle this lot off like May or June.
So we can buy tickets for that next month.
Yeah, you could, you don't have to buy them just this month. Let's say June. We'll set it for June, so you have at least until the end of the June meeting to buy your
I
ticket.
love it.
So
Yeah.
every meeting.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So anybody for the dollar raffle? The way it works is when we call your name, you come up, take whatever's on
Yeah, this is the one, this is the one in 2045. So there's 50 relations. Waco, Columbus, and Cleveland. Well, this is right in the cap. Yeah, that's ours right there.
It works then.
Look over here. It's South
But if you win the raffle,
Florida. 50 relations.
We're gonna do that by-